Production funding for Sports Files is made possible in part by
Infinity of Memphis has moved to Germantown Road, just half-mile north of Wolf Chase Galleria, and is proud to support WKNO for its quality broadcasting and service to our community. Quality and service? No wonder Infinity of Memphis feels at home on WKNO.
the WKNO Production Fund, the WKNO Endowment Fund, and by viewers like you. Thank you.
My guest today on Sports Files is Memphis Redbirds infielder Jacob Wilson. The St. Louis Cardinals organization hasn't cornered the market in homegrown talent, but it sure feels like they have. Time after time, the Big Birds have dipped into their minor league system to bring up one of their valuable young assets. From Stephen Piscotty to Xavier Scruggs to Tommy Pham, just to name a few, the Redbirds have provided some bonus babies for the parent club, filling voids left by injuries. It's been one of those seasons for the Cardinals, who currently sport the big league's best record. It just seems that whoever gets the call-up produces. It's the benefit of having that type of talent waiting in the wings. Now, one of those talented young players and prized minor league prospects is infielder Jacob Wilson, who has yet to get his opportunity at the major league level, but it's sure to come. Wilson is not only a primetime example of homegrown talent, but he takes the meaning to a whole other level. That's because Wilson is literally homegrown. He was born in Bartlett, played his high school ball at Bartlett High under the guidance of head coach Phil Clark, one of the state of Tennessee's all-time great coaches, and then attended the University of Memphis for 4 years, where he starred for skipper Darren Schoenrock. After college, Wilson would be selected in the 10th round of the 2012 amateur draft by the Cardinals and has rapidly advanced up the chain of the organization's minor league system. Wilson began the 2015 campaign at Double-A Springfield, but moved up to Memphis in May and has never looked back. And while he's not currently on the Cardinals' 40-man roster, there's a good chance Wilson gets a September call-up. And if it doesn't happen this year, it appears it's only a matter of time. And while he waits patiently, Wilson gets to enjoy playing baseball in a very familiar setting in his hometown and in front of friends and family. Today, Redbirds infielder Jacob Wilson and his attempt to climb the ladder all the way to the big leagues. And he's next on Sports Files. Jacob, great to have you on the show.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure being here.
Thank you so much for your time. All right, before we get into your rise in the Cardinals organization, now playing, of course, for your hometown team, the Memphis Redbirds, let me go back to the Pan Am Games. You just participated in the Pan Am Games representing the United States. That had to be a great honor for you.
Yeah, that's actually the first time I've ever been able to put on the USA jersey and go compete. I had an opportunity in high school. It didn't work out for me, but being selected in that was kind of an honor to go up there and wear those 3 letters across your chest and play against, other countries' best players to compete for medals, really.
I know every organization doesn't exactly have that same understanding, and they won't allow players to play internationally during a season. But you had the Cardinals' blessing. So even though you were in the middle of the Redbirds campaign, they said go up there and represent us well.
Yeah, I talked to some of our front office people about it, and they were all about it. They wanted me to go up and get that experience, get in that kind of situation and pressure situations, really. And I mean, baseball's still baseball. You go up there and you play the game and see how things work out, and we were able to bring a silver medal home with that.
How strange was it, though, to pack your bags, leave for a while, the team that you were playing with, the Redbirds?
It's different. There's not many things throughout the season that allow you to leave your season and go internationally and play. Getting up there, we actually opened up in Puerto Rico, and we have a player in Springfield right now, Anthony Garcia, who was on the Puerto Rican team.
Oh,
and that
okay.
was our first game there, actually. So, we gave each other a hard time up there, and it was kind of a cool experience to get up there and meet a lot of other players from other countries. And there's a lot of guys from the PCL in that league too that were on my team. So getting around some of the older guys with experience, you actually go up there and you learn a lot also.
And the University of Memphis, well represented, not only by you, but Scott McGregor, the pitcher, who finished his career when you started yours at the University of Memphis. Mm-hmm. So even though you did not play together, I'm sure that was kind of neat being both members of, at one time, the University of Memphis.
Yeah, me and Scott go back all the way to the University of Memphis days, because in his off seasons he would come back and throw to hitters when I was still there. So I had plenty of at bats off him. So we did have a good relationship going into it, and going up there and playing with him for the first time outside of spring training or off season was kind of a cool experience also.
As you said, you get the silver, so you come up a little short with the gold medal. You lose to Canada. I think that was, what was it, 7-6 in extra innings. But some funky rules in international baseball. Tell everybody, without having to go into too lengthy, that rule change in extra innings as opposed to baseball here in the States.
International rules, extra innings, you start the inning, you pick your own 2 base runners to go to first and second base, and you start your lineup wherever you want it to. So we led off the top of the 10th, put 2 guys on, started our leadoff guy. He bunted them over, ended up getting a big double out of our 3-hole, scored 2 runs. Then bottom of the 10th, things just really didn't go our way for Canada to pull out the victory there.
Did you know of all these rule changes? Or were you like, what is this? What's going on?
Going into it, we had no clue, but we had a team meeting in North Carolina before we went up there, because the team flew to Cary and had workouts together, and we were kind of told of all these extra rules while we were up there, so we could go ahead and use. And actually, we were able to get a couple innings against our the Collegiate USA team, where we practiced some with the extra inning rules.
What was the level of competition playing these countries as opposed to, let's say, AAA baseball?
Very equivalent, due to the fact that you got teams, especially with Cuba and Canada, who they're wanting to go and represent their country the right way. So they're going to send their top players to try and bring a medal home to their country. So emotions were high every game due to the fact that everyone wants to bring that medal back. So you did see very good players up there from these different countries, because they weren't going to send players who couldn't compete at that level, because, like I said, everyone wanted to bring that medal home.
And everybody wants to beat the United States.
That was the one thing we were told going into it, that they weren't going to like us much up there, due to the fact that, we're the United States. We're supposed to win those if, you look at it that way. So teams wanted to come in, and like when Puerto Rico beat us in the opening game, they looked like they won the World Series, really. They had a blast with it, celebrating on the field and stuff like that. But, that's baseball. That's why it's hard to predict who's going to win in the long run.
Sure.
And you play so many games to be able to find out who the better team is.
Is there anything, Jacob, you could take out of playing international baseball and to put it into your repertoire here playing professional baseball?
The experience was unreal. Like I said, you get to meet some players you play against but never actually got to sit down and talk to. Our first baseman was Casey Kochman.
Yeah.
Plenty of big league time. So being able to talk to him about hitting or defense, you learn a lot from those guys, because they're older veteran guys who want to be able to pass on their knowledge to the younger guys to see them succeed too. So learning things from the older guys like that, being able to bring them back here, is only going to make people better in the long run.
All right, let's talk about your career here with the Redbirds in the Cardinals organization. So May, you start the season in Springfield in AA. You get the call up to play in Memphis. You went to Bartlett High School. You went to the University of Memphis. How cool was that when you got that call?
Actually, I found out on a bus ride. We just finished in Northwest Arkansas against the Royals AA team. And we were on the bus back to Springfield, a 7 o'clock game. So I don't think it was a 3 o'clock game, and I didn't find out until 7 o'clock on the bus. We didn't get back to Springfield until 11:30 that night, and my manager called me to the front of the bus and was like, hey, you just keep playing, I don't want you thinking about your swing too much. When we get back, make sure you go ahead and start packing your bags. And I'm like, packing my bags for what? 'Cause I had no clue what was going on. He was like, oh, you got to be in Memphis in the morning. And it was kind of like a overwhelming feeling knowing I was going home to play. And I actually had to end up driving because I had my truck up there. So I drove from Springfield to Memphis. I think I got here in Memphis at 6:30 that morning. We had an 11 o'clock game. So I was right in the lineup first day playing third base.
Wow.
Mom couldn't get off work. Dad was here. And my third at bat, I ended up hitting a home run that game. And I remember stepping on home plate and looking in the stands. My dad smiled from ear to ear. So that knowing that I'm back home playing in front of my family and being able to do what they don't get to see me do all the time was a really good feeling.
Family, friends, I'm sure your former coaches have seen you here, Darren Schoenrock at Memphis, Phil Clark at Bartlett. We often talk about Memphis athletes going to the University of Memphis and having the pressure? A lot of it's with basketball, but I'm sure it's with baseball as well. How about playing professionally in your hometown? It doesn't seem like there's any pressure, or at least you're just a cool customer. Or is there a little pressure trying to perform and perform well in front of all the friends and family that come out to watch you?
I think actually playing at Memphis helped that a lot, due to the fact that I stayed here in town, so I had all the family I was close with, friends, always came out and watched me play in college. So being able to come back here home, for them to come out and watch me play, it was something that I've done before. So the pressure level wasn't as high, due to the fact that I've been in those kind of situations before with a lot of people watching me play that I'm close with. So then it just turns into going out and playing the game the right way and trying to see what I can do here to keep propelling my career, to see what the future holds. I
would imagine at Memphis, because I know in this day and age, the last few years at least, I know Rock schedules games here against big opponents, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Arkansas, and the like. I imagine you probably had opportunities to play in the stadium you now play professionally in.
Yeah, when we always played Ole Miss, Mississippi State, the SEC schools, we always played here because we knew we were going to have a lot of fans at those games. And our stadium, can't hold a ton of people, so we'd schedule those games here in the midweek, be able to come out in front of a couple thousand people and play those big rival schools, really, when it comes to recruiting. So that was always fun, knowing that I was coming back here, and it wasn't nothing new to me.
Right, you were a little familiar with the stadium because you had played games.
Yeah, the only difference was this offseason they completely stripped the field, redid the field and everything, so it was actually coming back to it.
That's right.
And I knew the surface when I played here in college, and then coming back and seeing what it is now, the change is unbelievable. It's a completely different field.
Is there a big difference between AA pitching and facing AAA pitching?
I think the biggest difference is the experience factor. Once the scouting report gets out on you, there's going to be more scouting reports here in AAA. Pitchers get an idea of what they want to do with you, and they stick to that until you prove to them that they're going to hit that idea. And then they start to change based off what they see. So you got guys here who maybe have 10 years in the big leagues who are still trying to fight to get back. We do have guys, like with me, it's their first year here, and they're learning how to pitch guys now. So there's really no set counts you're getting certain pitches, whereas in the lower levels you can know if you're in a 2-0 count or a 3-1 count, you're probably getting a fastball. Here, it's not the case. So you got to be able to control your swing with all the different pitches in any counts and not, get set up on I'm getting a fastball here, because you can get sliders, curveballs, changeups in any count, really, because people can control those pitches here.
Do you hear from the parent club, from the top brass? Do they talk to you or give you updates on how you're progressing, or do you not hear from these guys until after the season and then in spring training?
You don't really hear from those guys. You do get a lot of people that come in town. I know Moselak's been here.
Right.
Our farm director's been here. All of our rovers, they come in, you talk to them, and it's kind of like, hey, let's see if we can get better at this, or let's work on this. But you don't talk as much about, when you're going to go up. You don't know anything like that.
But they give you a status of where they see you right now in your career and what you need to do to get better, which is good, right? To know what you need to improve on.
More. This is what we need to get better on in the long run, and this is the kind of player you need to be, and stick with that plan to try and make yourself that better of a player.
What players, veteran players, do you lean on for information that you want to ask questions to?
Here, Dan Johnson was here earlier in the season. Right. He's in the big leagues now. Again, another veteran guy who you can learn a lot from. He's got time in the big leagues, so I got to have a pretty good relationship with him as far as being around it. We were throwing partners every day. So then you got the younger guys like Garcia and Scruggs, who are, have had their time, been up this year. Being able to work with those guys and them saying, hey, this is the kind of player they need up there. This is the kind of personality, the kind of character they need. And it shows a lot about this organization. And in camp this year, Wong spent a lot of time with me, Matt Adams, same, and it was guys knowing they have people coming for their jobs, but they'd still go out of their way to make sure the younger guys knew, or to show them the right way on how to go about things. Even though we're coming for their job, they wanted to make us better.
It seems pretty crazy that it was 2012 when you were drafted. It seems like you were just drafted. Are you a patient guy? Can you wait? It seems like so far patience is a virtue, but at some time you got to be antsy, right? Especially if you're performing very well.
Yeah, that's one thing, especially with baseball. You got to learn to be patient and let things play out, because nothing you do outside of going and performing is going to change your progression within the organization. They have a plan for you, and you got to play your way into that spot. You're not given opportunities. You earn them, especially in this job. You have to be able to go out and perform every day. There's no days off. We get like one off day a month, and still on those off days, there's some days where they have to close the clubhouse to keep people out of the clubhouse from coming up here and trying to get work in. But yeah, you have to be patient in this field due to the fact of you never know when that call is. It could be today, tomorrow, but it could be 2 or 3 years from now. It all depends on how you go out and play and what the organization needs from you.
But I would imagine you believe you're going to get that opportunity.
I feel like everyone, once you get to AAA, you have that in the back of your head, that you have that opportunity, right? It's one phone call away is what they always say. You're one phone call away from being in the big leagues. But you can't take that and say, oh yeah, I'm getting my shot. You still have to. You can't assume it. You cannot assume it. You have to still go out and make sure you're putting up the numbers and you're doing your job to be able to earn that spot or earn that call. What do you need to do to get better? I think my biggest thing is making sure I stay consistent with everything I do. With the bat, being my production numbers being there, making sure I'm getting the job done with runners in scoring position, and then defensively make the routine play, let the nice ESPN plays happen. But the more you can dominate the routine play, as far as whatever position it is, me being I play multiple positions, I got to be able to master wherever they're going to put me. Because if they can't do that, then they might not be comfortable at putting me in that position in certain situations. And I want it to be, yeah, he can do that right now, or he can play that position right now. And that's the kind of player that I feel like I need to be. Do you ever pick up a phone and call Coach Rock or Coach Clark? Yeah, we've actually, Coach Clark's talked to me. He's been to multiple games this year. Coach Rock, actually Coach Green, the hitting coach at Memphis, came to the game 2 nights ago. It's always nice getting those guys out here, and they never say enough how proud they are of me. And it's just more people to add to that support system I have here. Especially when you get coaches that you've played for in the past that have your back, or you can pick up the phone and say, hey, I kind of need this, or they're going to drop what they're doing and make sure they find a way to help you right then. 1 sentence answer, why do you love baseball so much? It's been a passion since I was T-ball, 4 years old maybe. I know in spring training, someone asked me a similar question, and right before spring training, my 4th grade teacher kind of sent me a message on how she was proud of me, and she she gave us a project in 4th grade, and it was like, what do you want to do when you're older? And evidently I wrote like this 2-3 page paper about how I wanted to be a professional baseball player. So that passion's always been there, and I feel like once she told me that, I haven't forgot it, and I can almost go back to remembering writing that paper. How about that? You probably recite it verbatim. That takes you off the hot seat, Jacob, but it doesn't end the interview. We like to wrap up all our interviews with something called 5 for the Road. So quick answer, 5 questions, pretty simple. Favorite professional sports team, any sport, please do not say the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals, no. The Arizona Cardinals, huh? Honestly, I don't know if I have a specific team. In any sport? I watch what's on. I don't, follow specific teams. I've always been a Cardinals fan since I grew up, so I've followed them since before high school. I'll let you slide on that one. How about your favorite pro athlete? All time. All time. I like Mark McGwire hitting. Okay. How about your favorite musician or band or genre of music that you like to listen to? I stick with country music. Florida Georgia Line's at the top of my list right now. Sure, they're hot. They're red hot, no question about it. Favorite movie of all time? American Sniper. Good movie. How about if it was a sports movie? Miracle. Miracle, okay. And then finally, your favorite television show? NCIS, Los Angeles. NCIS LA, no delay on that one? Nope. I watch every episode, make sure it's recorded, and watch it every episode that comes on. Jacob, we've really enjoyed watching you grow in the Cardinals organization, obviously here in Memphis playing for the Redbirds. Continued success, and I know one day we'll be watching you play at the major league level. Thanks so much. Thanks, man. That's Jacob Wilson. We'll take a break. Overtime is next.
Memphis has been a hotbed for golf over the last few weeks with events all around the community. Recently, the 2015 AAU Golf National Championship was held at Miramichi Golf Course, with champions crowned in several age groups ranging from 18 and under to 6 and under. There were some outstanding young golfers on display, and our Sports Files camera was there for some of the action.
What is the deal with AAU Golf?
AAU Golf is 15 years old, and like I say, we started at a convention 15 years ago, and we've been doing these national championships one a year for the last 15 years, and we move it to different cities every 3 years. You know, we try to put it in one place and keep it there for 3 years. Now AAU, everybody knows AAU from track basketball. A lot of people don't know that AAU is the largest youth organization in the world with 40 sports and 600,000 athletes racing. That's a lot of kids.
What kind of ages are kids are golfing out here today?
We're doing 6 and under to 18 and under. We've got kids from 8 states in this tournament out here today at Miramichi.
So somebody here that wins in their division, is that a national title or what is it?
Here's what they get. Each age group, the winner, they get their 3 medals, you know, the gold, silver, and bronze. The winner gets the gold medal, plus he gets a beautiful Bridgestone bag. Embossed on that bag is national champion. That's what they take home with them. Then the match play winners gets the Yost Cup and a Sky Cap.
So how much golf are they playing this weekend?
They're going to play 36 holes of stroke and then 2 days of match play. A lot of golf.
Do you have a history of players going to the tour, having come out of the AAU?
We've got one lady on this tour right now that's Viola Greenwood, is the daughter, 15-year-old, of Bobby Greenwood, who played on the tour and who won the Memphis Open here one year. She has won 5 championships this year alone. She has offers from 64 colleges. She'll be on the LPGA Tour. You can book it.
What advice do you have for your daughter?
Oh, just slow down and relax and take it easy. Enjoy the golf course.
So, Dad, what's your advice for her team up here?
Well, just take a deep breath and swing hard. In case you hit it, it might go a long way. No, you just have fun, enjoy it. It's just a journey, and we're having a great time. Thanks to AAU.
First, Sydney second, Iowa third, and Megan fourth, and I'll announce it, okay?
Well, I played on the PGA Tour for 7 years, 1969 through 75. It's great to be here in Memphis. This is where Jack Nicklaus and I had the match 9 months before he won the U.S. Open. I was the last amateur to beat Jack before he turned pro. But we're just great. We're just happy to be here for the AAU. It's just, they're such great people and a wonderful golf course down here.
So tell me about your daughter here, Viola. Apparently she's gaining some notoriety. Tell us about it.
Well, she's only been playing 4 years. She used to play soccer and softball and jiu-jitsu and karate, and then finally she said, Dad, team sports are not that great. How about I want to try golf? And I said, yes. And so she started playing. She's a good athlete and she's coachable, and I know a little bit about teaching, so we've had a good time.
Give us some of your accomplishments so far.
Well, last year I won the AAU National Championship at Link Hills in Greenville, Tennessee, and this year it's at Miramichi, and I'm really happy to be here.
Have you played here before?
No, this is my first time.
What have you noticed so far about this course?
In my 4 years of playing golf, I've never played a prettier golf course than this. And I want to thank AAU for choosing this great golf course, a great place for us to display our talent and skills.
And congratulations to Viola and to Bartlett's Clayton Gregory, who both won national match play championships. The popular Memphis Pub Links tournament took place recently, and first-time participant Jason Dallas here, a real estate developer from Phoenix who recently relocated to Memphis, was spectacular as he went wire to wire for the win. Dallas shot 196 over his 54 holes, in winning by 4 strokes. He put it on cruise control for the final 18, recording a 67 at Galloway Golf Course to seal the deal, and in doing so, preventing 3-time defending champion Matt Cooper from making it 4 in a row, which would be the first time that it ever happened. Dallas opened the event with a 63 at Audubon Golf Course. Cooper got off to a relatively slow start in the event, but closed with a magnificent 62 at Galloway to put a little pressure on Dallas, who kept his composure in taking home the title. Veteran Ed McDougal would finish in 3rd place. And that'll put a wrap on this week's show. Remember, you can catch any of our previous shows by simply heading to our website at WKNO.org. In the meantime, have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Production funding for Sports Files is made possible in part by
Infinity of Memphis has moved to Germantown Road, just half-mile north of Wolf Chase Galleria, and is proud to support WKNO for its quality broadcasting and service to our community. Quality and service? No wonder Infinity of Memphis feels at home on WKNO.